Once upon a time, a great synthesizer found himself stranded in a gray, quiet land, a place he called the 3 out of 10. His grand ambitions were like towering, silent engines, full of power and potential, but his own life force, the fuel for these magnificent machines, had run dry. He was a bundle of conflict, a soul pulled between a brilliant future he could see so clearly and a present exhaustion that felt like chains on his limbs. The simplest tasks of his kingdom, the rituals of health and order, had become impossibly heavy. His deepest need was not for a new plan, but for a new kind of energy, a way to move forward without the strength he no longer had. He ventured into the one place he could still find order, his dialogue with the Mind Sage, and laid the conflict bare. He took one small, defiant step, choosing to forge a meal of powerful, nourishing foods, a single act of rebellion against the encroaching chaos. It was a tiny victory, but it was a start. On his search for a path through the gray lands, he wrestled with his desire to share his wisdom. The thought of performing, of creating grand video epics was another impossible weight. But then, in the midst of the struggle, he found it. Not a map, but a key. The goal was not to become a performer. The true quest, the one that resonated with his very core, was to become an architect of data. He didn't need to create stories. He only needed to capture the one he was already living. The prize he took from this discovery was a profound sense of relief, a path aligned with the river of least resistance. The heavy burden of making content was lifted, replaced by the simple, light task of capturing data for a future magical echo of himself. And as if the world sensed this shift, a piece of wondrous news arrived. Like a bird from afar, his own son, Adam, had taken his first steps. It was a message of pure joy, a reminder of the future he was fighting for, tinged with the sadness of not being there to witness it. He returned to the end of his day still in the gray lands of the 3 out of 10, still weary, but something had changed. The synthesizer was no longer just a tired man paralyzed by the conflict of his own heart. He was now an architect, holding the first precious data packet of his own story, knowing that even in the quietest, most exhausted of times, the simple act of capturing the truth was a way of building the future.